how's it going? Abram Gonzalez here, co-founder of Digital Harvest. Welcome to the Entrepreneur Spotlight with my guest, Becky Torres at the Torres Law Firm. So Becky, I've gotten the chance to know you a little bit, but not a lot yet. I know our viewers will be very impressed by your story and some of the things that I'd like to ask you today. But why don't you start things off here and let them know a little bit about your brief history getting involved in real estate law, water rights, and other stuff too, right?
That's right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, Abram. I've been practicing in New Mexico since 2010, so almost 8 years now. I started at a firm that did exclusively water rights law, moved after about a year and a half to a firm that did water rights and real estate and estate planning, probate, a few other things. And then after being there for a few years, I decided to leave the firm and open my own practice. So as of the end of 2015, I went out on my own, so I'm approaching 3 years now.
Well, and she's being a bit modest because her story and how she went out on her own was a little bit like, it was kind of ballsy, right? So tell me a little bit about that, because I think that other entrepreneurs and people here in the community want to know that kind of fierceness and that made you take the leap and start your business is going to carry over to the work that you do too. So what was that like, and how did that actually happen?
Yeah, it was kind of a unique situation. At the firm where I was, I had no real immediate plans or any plans in the near future to leave. I was happy with where I was. I was happy working with a partner, and no real plans. But one day I got a call from, oddly enough, an opposing party on a real estate deal, and he asked me if I would be interested in being his in-house counsel. And so couple discussions we had and discovered that probably the best arrangement would be for me to open my own practice and for him to be a client. The timeline was a little bit tight. Following the day he called me to the day that I left my firm was 15 days, and 10 days later I had opened my own practice. So within less than a month, between not having planned on leaving to being completely out on my own.
Sometimes the calls and you just gotta answer and you really went for it, and so things have been going pretty well for you.
Yeah, it's been great. It was definitely an opportunity that I could not pass up, and things have been going really well. I've been really fortunate, really blessed to have business walk through the door, and I've hired a couple people.
Right.
So yeah, things are going really well.
Definitely, and of course, even when things go super well, there are some challenges, right? What would you say sticks out for you as being one of the biggest challenges that you've had to overcome after opening your own doors here?
There's no question what the biggest challenge is, and that was making the decision to hire someone. I was completely on my own, doing my own admin, answering phones, everything for the first 6 months, and I decided that I really needed some help. So I hired a legal assistant. That wasn't quite as scary because she was part-time. That was easier to manage, but the hardest decision was when I decided to hire an associate attorney. And just going from one attorney workload where I was drowning in work, but obviously didn't have enough to transition into two.
Right.
Making that transition was really scary, really hard, and we're still working through it, but I have a full-time associate attorney working for me now.
Many hats with many small business owners in the very beginning. I totally get you on that.
That's right.
So something that you probably don't know about Becky, and you might not know even after spending some time working with her, that I was just totally taken by, was the fact that you run Ironman. So tell me a little bit about that, and then how you feel like that serves you as an entrepreneur running this business.
So I have run one Ironman. I'm getting ready to run my second here in about 6 or 7 weeks.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I was not a runner, swimmer, or biker up until about 5 years ago. And I did my first sprint triathlon on my oldest son's first birthday.
Okay.
So it was April 5 years ago, and I barely survived it. And a sprint triathlon is a pretty short distance relative to Ironman. But over the last 5 years, it was something that I just fell in love with after my first race. And over the years, I was kind of winging it for a while. I did hire a coach eventually, and she helped me tremendously. And I think just seeing those improvements that I was able to make in a relatively short period of time really gave me a whole lot of confidence. And that's something, I'm not bursting with confidence. That's just not my personality. And so that really helped me, because having my own firm, my own business, is a really scary thing. It wasn't something that I had planned on. I didn't have aspirations to do it. And so I really did lack confidence, and I still do lack confidence in that realm, in running a business. And am I making the right decision? Was it the right decision to hire an associate? And, all of those things that we kind of work through as an entrepreneur. But having that athletic accomplishment that I've been able to lean on and have that confidence has really helped me. And so, a lot of times I just have to tell myself, if I can finish an Ironman, I can get through this. I can write that brief, or I can figure out how to make it work with an associate. So it's really helped me a lot, filling the gaps where I'm missing that confidence aspect.
I get you on that, because I know when I was growing up, I got a black belt in Taekwondo. And that was like this huge thing for me, because I was a kid that grew up and struggled with self-esteem immensely. So I totally feel you on that. It's amazing how something like that can transfer into everything else. Like, you've got it in there, right? Sometimes you just gotta dig deep. So I think the thing I'd like to wrap up with here is, people probably watching and they actually might not have any clue, like, what is real estate law? What is water rights? I know you love the water rights piece, right?
I do.
So why don't you talk about that and like why you love that so much?
Sure.
So they can get a better idea about how maybe you can help them with something, or maybe somebody they know could use your services too.
Sure. And the water rights really ties in quite a bit with real estate. And I started with just that piece and expanded into real estate. And I've represented anywhere from, a residential developer, commercial developer, investors of various sorts, and pretty much any type of real estate transaction. And in addition to that, water rights kind of plays into it here in New Mexico, because it's considered a real property right. So a lot of the property that is involved in these transactions has water rights. So helping people, declare their water rights, or any help that they may need, or any information that they need to track down. It's a lot of historical research, which I really love doing. I love looking at old maps and plats, and so it really plays into what I love to do. And then, estate planning is something that also ties in. It's, several different areas, but usually my clients end up crossing over, and the areas of practice cross over. But the estate planning would be wills and trusts and that type of thing.
Right. Not always stuff that people really want to talk about, but something that is critically important for everybody, right?
Exactly. And that's something that I really love, being able to sit down with my clients and talk through those things, because it is a really scary topic to talk about. And some of my clients are younger, they're in their 30s, and they have small children, minor children. And estate planning is really important for those kind of folks. And I really love being able to sit down with my clients and take a really scary or difficult topic and break it down so that they understand, and get them to where they feel some peace of mind that it's done and it's really not that scary, and we can work through it.
Take them by the hand, let them know it's going to be okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Hey, so it's been great chatting with you here. I know this is just a very short kind of deal that we get to sit down and share with the community the things that you're doing here at the Torres Law Firm. I'm excited for you. I'm happy that you've been 3 years in business, still growing, still experiencing those challenges, but moving through them, working through them, and I think being just a great testament for entrepreneurship here in the Rio Rancho community. So thank you for joining me here. Where can our viewers find out more about you and connect with you? Like website, phone number?
Sure.
Where should they connect with you?
Yeah, so we have a website, and it's www.torreslawnm.com. So it's Torres Law NM, New Mexico.
Cool.
Basically. My phone number is 505-221-6709.
Perfect. So I'll put that information below, so if you want to go connect with Becky or call her up and get on the phone, then you can do that there too. Thanks again, Becky.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Good to talk to you.
Absolutely. Bye for now. Thanks so much for joining us with this episode of the Entrepreneur Spotlight. If you haven't already clicked that subscribe button, check out some of our recent videos, and most importantly, if you want to nominate somebody for an upcoming episode, go ahead and comment below, give us their information, and we'll see if we can make some magic.